All right, we're starting another recording right here. Um, so yes, I'm continuously shooting these videos because again, like I said, online I'm doing, research and I'm seeing the missing link. And the missing link is there's good content out there. I'm not knocking anyone's content. That wouldn't be cool for me to do that, right? I'm not going to say, oh, my content is better than theirs or whatever, because in fact, this is a copy of my book, You're Everything and Everything Is You. And in this book, I promote a lot of actually all the websites and YouTube channels I go to, and even I have other books I refer you to in this book. So this book here is a Transcendental Self-Awareness Meditative Research Manual. So if you hear me mention a YouTube channel or a website or a book, you don't have to concern yourself with trying to remember, because I have them all listed in here. So back up everything that's in this book. This book is 500 some pages, and I stay consistent with I am. And so I will not purposely use language to take you, up here. And that's what, now some of the websites and YouTube channels I will refer you to, because they do have a lot of good information there. But when you hear them start using words like THINK, THOUGHT, THINKING, MIND, law of attraction, subconscious MIND, laws of the universe, my advice to you is to dump all that. Dump it. And I'm going to call that an it. And you'll hear me say, when I'm really looking for you to connect and realize yourself as something, I will say I am. I won't call that an it. And the reason I'm doing that is because you are a creative being. Now, I have a book, and I've many texts that I research. And there's a young lady named Erin, ERIN, Weirdly. And she wrote a book titled I Am. There's one I Am, one Creator. And at the bottom of her book, you know what? Let me just click pause, and I'll bring that book and show you, so you know what I'm talking about. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. And I'm bringing in some of the materials that I've done a lot of research from, and so that, and number one, the book that we all know as Bible, which was originally Holy Scriptures. So I'll quote from there, and I have backup quotes in my book, You Are Everything and Everything Is You. And you can go to www.youareverythinggood.com and get a copy of this book. And the email address is there. If you have any issues, click on the PayPal button. You have any issues, just email us, and then we'll get back in contact with you and resolve the issue and get your copy of your book out. This book is $50. I'm gonna raise it up to $60. This book is well worth $50,000. You go listen to the Neville Goddard's videos introduced by Elmer O'Locker Jr., whose grandfather studied with Neville Goddard, who Neville Goddard and Joseph Murphy studied with Abdullah. And Mad Black Guru, he has a series of videos, and he'll help you be aware of that. And but I'm gonna make you aware of something in this presentation. Now, this book is $50. It's too much. No, this book is not too much. I mean, there's a lot of programs beings that purchase it on the internet, and they purchase it and then they let the stuff sit, and they really, trust me, when you hear them say the end result, I've done all the work right in here. All you have to do is turn the pages. Just turn the pages, and you will experience you self. And I'm going to say you self instead of yourself. I take the R off the word your and say you self. When you hear you self, you can feel like I am. You don't feel like your. Your give you that feeling that you and something, like your car. But if I say you car or your family, and I say you family or your home, I say you home, you feel connected. So I do these things purposely to back up the name I am. See, a lot of times you just say I am, and then you start saying your, and then you just feel right away your brain is, listen, before we could get to our brains. Now, this is really not cool to realize. Before you all who are listening to this, and this wasn't even good. It wasn't fair to us as little children. Before we can get to our brains were gotten to. It's not a very good thing to say, but that's true. Before we could get to our brains were gotten to. You know, we were marching to preschool and marching to kindergarten and other places where they just programmed our brains with all this information that went totally against the I am we are. And then as soon as you start realizing and seeing information like this popping out, and you start saying I am, you start getting this resistance. And where is this resistance coming from? It comes from the programs that were downloaded in us when we were children. We were just innocent little children going to preschool, going to kindergarten, and they put all this stuff in our brains. And then none of that stuff was for the good that we are. But it was good. It was good for the programs that they, that's really not cool to have done that. They basically robbed the identity of every little, and children are going to preschool now and kindergarten. And their parents just marching right on in. And then you start hearing stuff like this information, and this sounds weird to you. This sounds like strange because it doesn't match up with the programs that's been put in when you were 4 years of age. And I like to say, well, age is not even real. But as soon as you hit 4, your parents, boom, walk you in. They felt they were doing a good thing. And they says mandatory, you have your child to go to school to be programmed. And then now you grow up and you're really trying to step outside that program and allow a greater reality as the self you are. And then you have all these inner challenges. And you say, where did they come from? They came from when you were taken to preschool. And I'm going to say this too, even some Sunday schools. Yep. Reverend Knight touches on that. He told his wife, don't take my son to anybody's Sunday school. I'm just mentioning that. So when you hear these videos and you find that it's a little struggle for you to really grasp what's being said here, it's not because you don't prefer to. You got programs running without your permission. And guess what they run? Right here. A lot of beings say, oh, you got to get it right up here. No, you don't. Listen to this verse. John 8:58. And I like to say I am 8:58 because before the Holy Scripture was named the book of John, I am the information that was brought to the world to free I am as all of you. John 8:58 says this, before Abraham was, I am. Now I take that back farther than Abraham. Before the universe was, that I put the world in, that I put Abraham on, I am. Now, so let's go to the first man. Was Abraham the first was Abraham the first man? I don't know. But whoever was the first man, before that man was, I am. I am. Before that man was, what you call a man. Before that woman was, I am. Okay? Now, guess what comes with what you acknowledge as a man? A brain. Right in the skull. A brain comes with that man. But before that brain was, I am. So before I am self. Before I am self. And I'm talking about this whole universe. Not this universe, because before the universe was, I am. So the universe is smaller than I am. The universe sits within the I am you are. So before the universe was, I am. Before the universe was, that I put the world in, that I put Abraham on, or the first man, first woman, whatever, I am. Now, the first being was I am with the brain. Now, you know that brain was created. That brain is not the creator. The creator is first. I am the creator. I'm first. Then Abraham was. Before Abraham was, I am. Now, why am I going over this? To let you know, if you're going to sit there and try to get stuff in your brains to say that now you are what you are, when that was created right along with Abraham, and the creator created Abraham, why are you going to the created to get to believe that you're going to bring to you what you are. You wake up as the creator. And just to tell you this, Abraham was the name that beings call that flesh, but that was I am wearing the garments, aka flesh, as Abraham. Just like I am is wearing the flesh as you. You believe you someone with the name on your license, the name that your parents gave you. That's not what you are. That's who you appear to be. That's not what you are. That's who you appear to be. And because you are the what, you even making that who appear to be real. Now, I'm nudging you, waking you up a bit. Now I'm gonna read some scripture from one book, and John 8:58 says, Matthew 16:15. Whom do you say that I am? Matthew 16:15. Whom do you say that I am? There's the name I am. Exodus chapter 3, verse 13 to 15. I am says, I am is I am name, and that is the name I am known as generation as generation. Now, I'm not going to use the preposition from generation to generation, but as generation, as every generation, I'm known as I am. I am every generation. Just like before Abraham was, I am. Before any generation was, I am. So that verse should have been written this way. I am known as I am as every generation, as every generation, as every generation, as every generation. So you are a generation that was given forth from you parents. Your children will be the generation given forth from you. But I am you, this generation. I am parents' generation. I'm great parents' generation. I am our great parents' generation. I'm children generation. I am our grandchildren generation. I am our great grandchildren. I am name is consistent. You see that? So you can't punch a hole in what I'm saying. And there's no such thing as reconnect to source. You are source. You are waking up as source. You can't reconnect because you were never disconnected. You were never disconnected. You just were not aware as source. So this information is helping you be aware as source. You see? This information is helping you be aware as source. That's why I'm doing these videos. And I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to give you any language like THINK, THOUGHT, THINKING, WANTS. Come on, Psalms 23:1 says, I am self, I shall not WANT. So if anyone's saying they WANT something or anyone, they're lying. The truth is I am. I am that. Just like right here. This is young Ganji. You are that. That's the truth. So since you are that, why would you use the word UWANT, what you already are? Now what you need to know is how to be what you are. As the inner scene, and I'm not going to use the word unseen anymore because you know why? When you see inwardly, you seen. So if you say unseen, that means you can't even see inwardly or outwardly. So take that word unseen and throw that in the garbage. I am the inner scene and the outer scene. One. You notice I said I am the inner scene and the outer scene. And let's dress that scene up with some adjectives. I am the joyful, happy, fun, loving, blissful, safe, and secure inner scene as the joyful, happy, fun, loving, blissful, safe, and secure outer scene. So whatever that is that you're looking to experience, that is you. And you go ahead and put some adjectives before that, so that way when that comes as when you as the inner self, the inner scene, come as the outer scene, you're coming, you appearing. When you appear as the outer scene, you're appearing as a joyful, happy, fun, loving, blissful, safe and secure scene. And that's why I always tell everyone, stop asking for serious relationships. I know what your intention are. You like to have someone, you letting them know, hey, you like to have a committed being, a committed relationship, someone who's, you said the word serious, but what you really like to say, you like to invite someone who's committed. They're not with you and flirting around with other beings, That's not fun. Even if I was to do that, I'm with a woman, but I'm looking at other women, that's not cool. Now, here's the deal. Some of us are polygamous, okay? Some of us are polygamous, whatever word you want to use. But when you know that that's what you are, then, and you know a young lady is monogamous, you put that up front and say, hey, listen, this is me. I'm the type of man who can have more than one wife. And I don't need anybody out there believing that this is weird, because this is happening. I mean, there are some other type of marriages that are taking place. But this is old history. Many men have had more than one wife. And let me tell you something. I'm going to add to this while I'm bringing this up. You could take 100 women. You could take a woman and put her on an island with 100 men. And now a lot of women don't prefer to hear this, but I'm going to tell the truth. This is how nature works. We ain't talking about religion. We're not talking about society. But this is how nature works. We're supposed to work in line as nature. A woman can have 100 men in 1 year. Been with all of them. Satisfied all of them. And only get pregnant by one of them. Whether she has one baby, twins, quadruplets, or triplets, whatever, quadruplets. She can only have one pregnancy in a year. Now you could take a man and put him on an island with 100 women and go back a year, and all 100 of those women would be impregnated by that one man. That's nature. Now what it is that you women, you all don't really understand our I am male nature. Right now there's a shoot down on masculinity. They make it, masculinity look like it's a bad thing. Masculinity is not bad. No man needs to be walking around acting feminine. If you're a woman, then be feminine. And I don't like the term feminist either, because those are women who just don't like men. A feminist. For what? You have a dad. Okay, if your dad and your relationship weren't that good, that doesn't mean you go out in the world and start hating other men. You just squash that and go, okay, maybe your dad didn't prepare you with enough love to the point you can appreciate men. Okay, so then you start praying to the Father. I am. And I am is love. I am would cover the love that your physical dad didn't give. But squash that. Don't come out into the world and create this anxiety where, you got men afraid to talk to you. And then when some men don't talk to you, right away you start going, oh, he must be, is he, does he not like women? Well, no, these guys are afraid to talk to you because you may say sexual harassment. See, this is real talk on this channel. So you women, if you like to, hey, don't push men to be, don't push men away from masculinity. Masculinity is not a bad thing. If somebody is acting up out of character, don't say, oh, that's because he's masculine. That's because that man needs to get his act together. And you know what? Let me tell you something. When a man, and I'm saying man because we recognize the male body, right? A man probably cannot have 3 or 4 wives harmoniously. But when he knows he's I am, he can. Matthew 19:26 says, with God, all things are possible. Now, I'm going to take that preposition without. As I am, all things are possible. And I am is love. So as love, as that man recognized that listen, before Abraham was, I am, right? So there really is no man and woman. There's only I am wearing a female body and wearing a male body. I am is wearing the male body and the female body. And the male body should function as a male body. The male body should function as a male body, and female body should function as a female body. Women can carry children. Men, like the men, we carry the male and female in our seed. But then the woman has the eggs, and then we deposit that in the woman. Like you take seeds and deposit them in the ground. And then rain's going to come, or if you have to irrigate water, and those seeds are fertilized with water and whatever that wonderful magical substance is with the earth, combined with the seed and water, a plant's going to grow. Well, it's the same magnificence as a female and male and female. I'm saying male and female, lady, woman, and man. Let's say that, because some women, I did a video and this girl says she don't like being called a female because you can call an animal a female. So here's the thing. I'm touching on something. Listen, we can't be afraid to speak truth. This just came up in the video because there are some beings listening to this video that best to hear this. If you're a man, if there's a man listening to this video, don't be afraid to be masculine. Don't let the world scare you away from being masculine. That's your divine nature. But now being masculine and egotistical are two different things. See, I said in some of my videos, and I have to clear this up because I don't want somebody running with it and be, oh, he doesn't like women. Man, I'm going to tell you something. Nowadays, any little, get out of here. If you don't know somebody's that way, keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut until you know. And the only way you're going to know someone is that way, you have to talk to them. Don't let your brain tell you, oh, he might be that way. Oh, he might be that way. Because your brain is a liar to you all by yourself. Your brain is a liar to you all by yourself. So now what do you believe your brain to do about someone else? It's going to tell you, oh, T-H-I-N-K that about him or her. Do you know? T-H-I-N-K is not knowing. Don't say you T-H-I-N-K you know. Say you know you know. And the only way you can know about somebody is to really go up to them and talk to them. One thing you do know, they exist. You know that. But do you know what they are? You have to talk to them. And then once you talk to them and they explain to you what they are, now you do know. But don't go off this. Listen, on this channel, I don't use any terminology that takes you here. Everything I do is to keep you from here. Now I read in some books where they said, I am, and they use the word, you know, I'm just going to say I am, was crucified in the skull. The skull is called the tomb. Now what that means is, crucified, that means when you go up here, you get crucified. This is called the tree of knowledge that no one should have eaten of. This is also the process of T-H-I-N-K-I-N-G is the forbidden fruit that Eve gave Adam, fed Adam. Hey, she fed him the process of T-H-I-N-K-I-N-G before they were just being. That's why the word is called judgmental, not judge emotional. So if you're going up here about somebody you don't know, you T-H-I-N-K you know. And anytime you T-H-I-N-K, you're lying to yourself, about yourself, or anyone else. This is all false. Before Abraham with a brain and a skull in the brain was I am. So now how could a created be the truth? The truth is I am. So don't be going here about yourself or anyone else. If you really like to free the self you are from this liar, from this captivity, there's a book called The Count of Monte Cristo. And then where he dug himself out of this prison. He dug himself out, the Count of Monte Cristo. And then he came out, you know, the story is like allegorically told, and you know, there was an old man in the bag, and then Count of Monte Cristo put himself in the bag, and then he dumped him out, and then blah blah blah, you know. But that's what happens here. Get out of here. That's why you'll never hear me. Look, they use the word, get this in your mind. Anyone that's teaching you, anyone who's teaching you to get what you love having in an mind should not be teaching you. I don't care who it is. If somebody's out there telling you, oh, you really like to have something, get it in your mind, you should not be listening to them. Because mind means misinformation, needing, demolition, dumping, dissolving, dissipating, or just destroying. mind is a terrible thing to waste. Now you heard that sentence, I just spelled the word. The mind is a terrible thing to waste. You notice the sentence doesn't say it is a terrible thing to waste the mind. They said the mind is a terrible thing. Just like poison is a terrible thing to waste. Waste means throw away. When you lose, somebody say, oh, you done lost your mind. Yes. If somebody say you lost your mind, tell them, yes, I did. And I found I am self. So either you keep the mind and never realize the self you are, or you get rid of that garbage and then realize the self you are. Make your choice. But I guarantee you this, 100+%. If you keep the mind and don't realize the self, you're going to have a bunch of problems. Problem solver. Problem solver. Problem solver. questions, answers. Finite, infinity. Intelligence, wisdom. Intelligence has a beginning and an end. Wisdom is infinite. There's no such thing as infinite intelligence. And I read that in some books. There's only infinite wisdom. Intelligence is a finite linear process. And I'm going to say, now I purposely picked the word it. It begins and it ends. Wisdom is I am. I'm constant, ever being, everlasting, ever isness, ever asness, ever amness. You cannot find a beginning or an end in wisdom. Intelligence is trying to go where wisdom already is. That's right. You heard me. Intelligence is trying to go where wisdom already is. Wisdom is I am. I amology. That's why we talk on this channel. I'm not a preacher. I'm not a minister. I'm not a deacon. I'm not a pastor. They study theology. I'm speaking as I amology. The study as I am. Okay? This is a non-traditional, non-religious, joyful, happy, fun, loving, blissful conversation. So if you like to call me something, you can call, if you like to call I am something, not me, get me out of here. Because people start saying, oh, you're narcissistic and you arrogant. No, there's no me, there's only I am. Call I am arrogant. Call I am narcissistic. That's what's speaking through this body that you're looking at right now is I am. So you want to call I am narcissistic and arrogant? Go right ahead. So I'm not going to use the word me because most beings say, oh, is that? Because their brain will tell them, oh, that's narcissistic. Anything the brain will shoot down this good message so you can stay where you are. A lot of beings do that too. They hear something this, and they'll shoot it down just so, but that's not even them doing that. You know, I was at Scientology once, and I was just finishing a session of auditing. And the gentleman who was supervising the auditing session, we looked out the window and we saw all these beings driving their vehicles, and he said there's nothing but engrams out there. He says nothing but engrams. What he was basically saying, there's nothing but programs in the brain moving these bodies around as they drive the vehicle and walking. So, man, wake up. Here's the deal. And you hear some of these ministers, they talk about S-I-N. When a man looks at a woman as the heart, that's not S-I-N-F-U-L. And you heard me say, when a man looks at a woman from here, S-I-N-F-U-L. You know why? Because the heart is the truth. And this is missing the mark. S-I-N means missing the mark. Archers back in the day when they would compete, they had their bow and arrows and they would miss the bullseye. They would say, you just S-I-N-N-E-D. That meant they just missed the mark, the bullseye. The bullseye and the mark is you are, I am. Now, I'm avoiding saying God because religion has made that word so heavy and so huge and so astronomical. There ain't no way you're going to take yourself knowing that you're God, but that's what you are. Just because your brain won't let you realize that doesn't mean that's not what you are. Just because the information in the brain, in your skull, will not allow you to identify yourself as God. And I'm running away. I'm not use that word. I just don't, because you know, Isaiah 40:46 says, I am, and there is no God beside I am. See, every time, I am, remember, Exodus 3:13-15 says, I am is I am name, and that is I am name. I'll be known as I am as generation. Exodus 3:13-15 to say, I am God, and that'll be my name forever. He said, I am. When Moses says, when he stepped in, Moses said, I am said, oh, did I hear you right? I am is the real name. When you say I am, you automatically experience I am. I am was never meant to be worshipped or praised. I am was meant to be experienced. I am listen, I am is the life you are. I am love to experience I am self as the life you are. I am is the life you are. I am love to experience the life I am is as the life you are. I am is the life you are. I am love experiencing I am self as the life you are. Not worshiping or praising. See, those habits and those teachings won't allow you to realize that you are an experience as I am. Because before you were, I am. Just like before Abraham was, I am. Before this universe was, that the word was put in, that Abraham was put on, I am. So the same thing for you. Before you were, I am. So now I'll go back to this. You are that. Aaron Worley says she has a book titled I Am, Oneself. And at the bottom she said, we are all God. We have just forgotten. Well, how did you forget? You really didn't forget. No one ever gave you the chance to know that you are, for you to forget. So I put here, we are all I am. We're now remembering. And then this gentleman right here, Herman L. King. I am you, you are I am. Who's this saying I am you and you are I am? It's not Herman King. That's I am saying that. Then you got this right here. I am. The power of discovering who you really are. Hence, you are everything and everything is you. I Am's book. I put I Am on as the author. So I have my I Am research backed up. So let me check to see if I'm still recording. Yeah, we're about to end this recording. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit record again. This is part 1. So part 2 is coming up. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. The like button. Leave good comments. Appreciate that. So this video about to wrap out right now.